The Galactic Empire had never seen anything like it. On the enormous council bridge of the Imperial capital, the alien leaders stared at their monitors, disbelief etched across their faces. Energy readings, massive and impossible, were moving steadily toward the Empire's core systems. It was a single ship, but the readings suggested power far beyond anything in their fleet. Admiral Varkin, a towering, scaled veteran of 100 campaigns, slammed his clawed hand on the console. Impossible. No known species can build a vessel like this. Identify it. Now, the scanner's word, attempting to classify the anomaly. Symbols flickered across the screen as the ship approached, its signature unfamiliar. Unlike the precise formations of their own fleets, it moved with a quiet confidence, almost leisurely, yet nothing about its path suggested weakness. I don't know," said the young analyst at the console, shaking her head. It's like nothing we have seen, and it's not hiding, it's heading straight for the core systems," the council murmured. The Empire had faced threats before, rebellions, rogue fleets, even isolated attacks from hostile species. But this was different. It carried no visible weapons fire, but the energy signature alone could obliterate their largest warship. In orbit, the human battleship USS Resolute sailed through the void, calm and precise. Captain Alina Graves stood at the bridge, her hands lightly resting on the control console. Her crew moved with quiet efficiency around her. Unlike the aliens, humans did not panic at the unknown. They observed, calculated, and acted. "Approaching Empire border," the ship's navigation officer said. His voice was steady. Graves nodded. "Keep scanning. Open all passive channels. I want to know exactly who we are dealing with before we make any sudden moves." The human crew exchanged glances. There was tension, yes, but it was not fear. Humans had survived worse than galactic empires. This mission was exploration, observation, and diplomacy. Nothing more. Yet even they could not ignore the odd feeling in the air. Something about the Empire's response, or lack of response, was unusual. Back on the Empire's capital bridge, panic was spreading like wildfire. Alien fleets were mobilizing, their commanders barking orders at every console. Warships lifted from their docks, filling orbit with a terrifying hum. Messages were sent to every sector. "Unknown human vessel approaching. Stand ready for engagement." Varkin's eyes narrowed. Why hasn't it fired? If it were hostile, we would already be under attack. This is strategic, calculated. A veteran officer, wings trembling with anxiety, replied, "Sir, perhaps it is a scout. But even scouts, they do not carry this kind of power. We cannot take any chances." The council debated in heated tones. Some wanted to strike immediately, to destroy what they did not understand. Others urged caution. The human ship's slow but deliberate advance was unlike anything they had faced. Every system, every crew member seemed perfectly coordinated. The alien leaders had no way to predict its next move. Meanwhile, Graves stood calmly. "We're approaching visual range. Prepare to broadcast our identification." The crew followed orders. Lights on the Resolute flickered as it opened a communication channel. In the vast silence of space, a clear, calm human voice echoed through alien frequencies. "This is Captain Alina Graves of the USS Resolute," she said. "We come in peace. We observe, we learn, and we do not intend to provoke conflict." The council bridge erupted into chaos. Varkin's claws clenched. "Peace? How is this possible? The ship could destroy 10 of our warships without effort." Alien diplomats scrambled. Messages were sent back and forth in rapid sequences, trying to decipher human intent, but humans spoke differently. They used logic, calmness, and patience, things the Empire's military was not accustomed to. On the Resolute, Graves studied the alien responses. They were defensive, anxious, almost trembling under her calm approach. "They are expecting aggression," she said softly. "They don't understand restraint." Her first officer, Lieutenant Marco Hand, tilted his head. Do you think they will attack anyway? Graves shook her head. Not yet. They are watching, waiting. That gives us an advantage. We move slowly, predictably, but firmly. Let them think we are cautious. We are, but we are also stronger than they imagine. In the capital, panic deepened. Every warship in the inner systems was on high alert. Alien generals argued over tactics. Should they fire first or wait? Every minute that passed without action only made them more uneasy. Humans were patient, disciplined, and their actions suggested nothing but calculated observation. Varkin looked at the energy readings again. It is too close. Even if it does not intend to attack, one mistake, one miscalculation on their part, and we are finished. The aliens attempted to intercept the Resolute with a small fleet of warships. They moved in tight formations, expecting to intimidate, but the humans did not panic. The Resolute maneuvered with precision, avoiding every attempt at provocation. Its shields held steady, its engines responded flawlessly. The alien ships could not match its speed, nor could they predict its movements. On the bridge of the Resolute, Graves smiled faintly. "They're testing us," she said. "Let them. They will learn something today." Meanwhile, the Empire's council debated more fiercely. "We cannot let it reach the core," one general shouted. "It will challenge everything we have built." "Perhaps," another replied, voice trembling, "but it has not attacked. It does not seem hostile, at least not yet." The alien population began to feel the tension. Traders paused their routes, diplomats canceled their meetings, and every system from the outer rim to the inner worlds was on edge. Whispers of humans, long thought primitive and insignificant, now filled the Empire's halls. How could one ship carry such power? And why had it not destroyed their defenses already? Back aboard the Resolute, the humans continued their methodical approach. Sensors scanned alien ships, data streamed to their computers, and Graves made notes. "They are not coordinated well," she said. "They rely on strict hierarchy and fixed protocols. That is their weakness, but we must not exploit it yet. Observation first." Lieutenant Han nodded. "Sir, they are panicking. Their formations are breaking." "Good," Graves replied calmly. "Let them feel the pressure without harm. Let them see that humans are different, not cruel, not reckless, but capable. That will matter more than any battle." As the Resolute drew closer to the Empire's core systems, the first signs of full-scale panic emerged. Ships lifted from docks, energy shields flared, and the Council argued over every move. The human ship, steady and unflinching, continued on its course. For the first time in the Empire's history, an outsider, one human, had caused hesitation, fear, and doubt at the very heart of its power. They were not firing. They were not threatening. And yet the Empire was already on edge, unsure if their entire civilization could survive the presence of a single human battleship. Graves turned to her crew. "Prepare for visual identification. Keep scanners active. Remember, we observe, we do not provoke. Everything else will follow." The crew nodded, silent but alert. They had trained for years, studied countless species, and faced threats the galaxy could not imagine. This was just another mission, but one that would set the tone for the future of human-alien relations. And somewhere deep in the Empire's heart, the Council whispered in fear. What are humans capable of, really? The USS Resolute glided onward, calm, measured, unstoppable. One ship, one human captain, and a crew ready to show that patience, intelligence, and discipline could unsettle an entire galactic empire. The first contact had begun, but neither side yet realized just how much the humans would change the game. The USS Resolute drifted closer to the Empire's core systems, its massive silhouette reflecting faintly against distant starlight. Captain Alina Graves stood at the center of the bridge, her eyes calm, her hands resting lightly on the console. Behind her, crew members monitored every channel, every frequency, every possible movement the Empire could make. "Sir," said Lieutenant Marco Han, pointing at the tactical display, Their fleet is still forming. They are trying to surround us. Graves nodded. Good, let them. Keep scanning and remember, we don't strike first. Observation only. The aliens from their warships stared at the human vessel. Their scanners confirmed what they already feared. This single ship carried more energy than half their fleets combined. The human vessel was moving deliberately, almost lazily, as if it had all the time in the galaxy. Admiral Varkin's claws clicked against the console. This is unacceptable. They could destroy us all with a single volley. What is their intention? The human just watches, a junior officer said, voice shaking. It does not attack, but it moves with confidence. It doesn't fear us. Confidence. That word unnerved the Empire more than firepower ever could. No species they knew acted like that. Most would either flee, submit, or attack recklessly. Humans apparently did none of these. On the Resolute, Graves tapped her communication panel. Open all frequencies. Send a standard identification message. Keep it simple. The bridge fell silent except for the soft hum of the ship. Graves spoke into the channel. This is Captain Alina Graves of the USS Resolute. We come in peace. Our mission is observation and study. We do not intend to provoke conflict. The message echoed across alien channels. For the first time, the Empire heard a human voice. It was clear, calm, and authoritative. There was no threat, no hesitation. Yet the aliens felt tension coil in their systems, a strange mix of fear and disbelief. On board the Empire's flagship, General Korlak muttered, "They speak as equals, but they are clearly stronger than all of us combined." Varkin's eyes narrowed. Do they even understand the concept of war, or are they simply arrogant? They are patient, another officer said. They study, they calculate. That is their danger. If attacked, they will respond in ways we cannot predict. Graves watched the alien ships carefully. Their formations were tight, but the humans noticed cracks forming. The alien vessels were overcompensating, shifting positions too quickly, exposing weaknesses that only a skilled observer could spot. Mark their energy outputs, she instructed quietly. Predict their maneuvers. Keep all shields on minimal. We want them to see our confidence, but not our strength yet. The humans moved with precision, their sensors picking up minor fluctuations in alien shields, subtle shifts in engines, even the way the aliens' communications lagged under stress. Every small detail mattered. Suddenly, the Empire sent a small squadron of sleek, sharp-edged warships directly at the Resolute. Their engines flared, signaling aggression, or at least intimidation. Graves didn't flinch. Evasive maneuvers only if necessary, she said. Show them we are capable but restrained. The Resolute responded. Its engines flared as it executed a slow, elegant spin. The alien ships moved to intercept, but the humans' calculated patterns left them off balance. Not a single weapon was fired. No damage was done. On the Empire's bridge, panic rippled. How can one ship evade us all without firing? Korlak exclaimed. It is impossible, Varkin's claws tightened. This is no ordinary ship. They think differently. They fight differently. We must reconsider. The humans were observing, recording, and calculating. Lieutenant Hand pointed at the tactical screen. Sir, they're overextending. If they wanted to, they could have attacked, but they haven't. They are testing us. Graves nodded. Exactly, and we're learning. Every move they make reveals their weaknesses and strengths. That knowledge is far more valuable than destruction. Meanwhile, the Empire scrambled to respond. More fleets lifted from docks. Energy pulses flared, shields activated across dozens of planets. Every commander wondered the same thing. What does the human want? The answer seemed simple yet impossible: nothing. The humans were not attacking. They were not retreating. They just were. The calm, patient movement of a single ship was creating panic across the Empire, shaking the very core of its confidence. Then came the first real contact. Alien representatives established a secure communication link, directly to the Resolute. The voice that came through was sharp, formal, filled with authority and suspicion. "This is General Korlak of the Galactic Empire," the voice said. "State your intentions immediately. Explain why your vessel approaches our core systems." Graves turned toward the communications officer. "Respond carefully, keep it simple." Her voice, calm and steady, carried across the channel. "We approach to observe. Our mission is peaceful. We intend no harm. We seek understanding, not conflict." Silence followed. Then the alien voice returned, harsh and incredulous. "You speak of peace, yet you carry power unmatched in our fleets. Explain why we should believe you are not here to conquer or destroy." Graves smiled faintly. "Because it is unnecessary. We can destroy, but we choose not to. We prefer understanding, study, and dialogue. Force is only a last resort." The alien council murmured. Confusion spread through the fleets. How could a species so strong be so restrained? In their experience, power always led to aggression. Humans did not fit their experience. Varkin leaned forward, claws tapping the console. "This is dangerous. They are stronger and yet they hesitate. It is unnatural. Our fleets cannot predict their response." Graves studied the displays. "They are reactive, not proactive. They expect confrontation. We are showing them patience, intelligence, and control. That is the advantage humans have. They don't anticipate restraint." Then the unexpected happened. One alien ship launched a probe toward the Resolute, scanning aggressively. The humans responded not with weapons but with countermeasures that disabled the probe instantly, without damage or harm. The probe drifted harmlessly, inactive. The aliens were shocked. "They neutralized our technology without even touching it," one officer exclaimed. Graves turned to her science officer, Dr. Selene Harper. "Status report." Harper tapped her console. "Probe disabled using minor electromagnetic pulses and predictive calculations. No permanent damage. They won't even know it failed until they check. We can repeat if necessary." "Good," Graves said calmly. "We're demonstrating capability without aggression. They'll understand restraint, or at least they'll learn to respect it." The alien fleets began to shift nervously. Their formations, once rigid and confident, now wavered. Ships hesitated, unsure of the next move. Panic rippled quietly through the Empire's communications. Rumors spread among officers. One human ship has outmaneuvered multiple fleets without firing a single shot. On board the Resolute, the crew maintained their composure. They analyzed alien energy outputs, propulsion patterns, and even cultural behavior, every piece of data recorded meticulously. Humans relied on knowledge, observation, and prediction. That was their true strength. "Sir," Hand said, "their fleet is regrouping, but it's chaotic. They don't trust each other anymore. The Council is arguing." Graves nodded. "Good, keep monitoring. We are learning more in 1 hour than they understand in a century of war." In the Empire's capital, the Council argued furiously. "We cannot engage," one general said. "They will win," another spat. "Then we cannot wait. If they advance further, they could destroy the core worlds." Varkin leaned back, claws still tight on the console. "We don't understand them. Their intent is unclear, their methods unknown. We cannot risk open battle. We must observe or lose everything." By the time the Resolute reached visual range, the humans were ready. Their ship's massive hull reflected starlight, enormous yet precise, unarmed yet clearly capable of unmatched power. The aliens could see the design was built for efficiency, speed, and endurance. Every line of the ship spoke of discipline and intelligence. Graves activated a visual feed, broadcasting the ship directly to the Empire's council. "This is what humans look like in their vessels," she said softly. "Notice the discipline, the precision. Nothing wasted, nothing reckless. That is who we are." Silence filled the council chamber. The alien leaders had never seen such confidence, such control. One diplomat whispered, "They could destroy us all, and yet they don't." Graves turned to her crew. Observation complete for this phase. Record all data. Maintain position. They will react further in the next hour. And react they did. Across the Empire, every fleet remained on edge. Some withdrew slightly, others held tense positions. Panic, disbelief, and fear spread like wildfire. For the first time, humans were not just a distant rumor. They were here, and their very presence threatened the Empire's assumptions about power, war, and control. The first contact had begun. Humans had not fired a weapon, had not threatened, yet had unsettled an entire empire. And Captain Alina Graves knew this was only the beginning. The Galactic Empire was unraveling. From the capital's glittering council chambers to the outermost fleet posts, whispers of panic spread like wildfire. One human ship, one single battleship, had shaken the foundation of centuries of order. Admiral Varkin paced across the bridge of the Empire's flagship, claws clicking against the polished metal floor. "This cannot be happening," he muttered. One ship has thrown the entire fleet into confusion. How can they be so confident? General Korlak slammed his claws on the console, making the nearby officers flinch. They move with patience and purpose. They do not attack, yet they are more dangerous than 100 of our fleets. A young officer, trembling, whispered, "Sir, they disabled our probe without any damage. They anticipate our every move. Every calculation we make, they are already 3 steps ahead." Varkin growled. "And they don't even attack. That is the worst part. They are not reckless. They are not cruel, but their control, their discipline, it terrifies me more than fire." Meanwhile, the USS Resolute maintained its orbit near the Empire's outer core. Captain Alina Graves stood calmly on the bridge, scanning the massive alien fleet scrambling to maintain formation. The humans observed, recording every detail, the inefficiencies, the weaknesses, the panic spreading among the alien ranks. Lieutenant Marco leaned toward Graves. "Sir, their formations are collapsing. Some fleets are retreating, others are holding positions without coordination. They are panicking." Graves nodded. "Good, keep recording. This is not our battle, it is their reaction. Every misstep they make teaches us more about their structure and strategy." Dr. Selene Harper, the ship's chief scientist, added, "They rely too heavily on hierarchy. Once the chain of command is disrupted, they cannot act efficiently. They are built for obedience, not adaptability." Graves smiled faintly. "Humans thrive on adaptability, creativity, and teamwork. That is the difference, and they're about to learn it the hard way." In the council chambers of the Empire, the debate had turned vicious. Some generals demanded immediate strike orders. "We cannot allow one human to dictate our strategy. Attack now." Others pleaded caution. "We do not understand them. If we strike, we may destroy ourselves." Varkin raised his claws. "Both sides are right and wrong. We do not know the humans' limits, but their restraint, that is their weapon. They are teaching us patience, even as they test our resolve." Across the Empire, human influence began to ripple. Ships that once moved with confidence now hesitated. Fleet commanders argued over every decision. Even seasoned generals found themselves second-guessing every move, wondering what the humans might do next. On board the Resolute, Graves instructed her crew to continue calm observation. "They will test us," she said. Let them. Let them try to provoke fear. They will fail. Patience, precision, and restraint, those are our strengths." Suddenly, an alien fleet attempted a coordinated maneuver, aiming to encircle the human ship and force surrender. Graves' eyes narrowed. "They are overextending. Let's show them why humans are unpredictable." The Resolute moved, not with aggression but with flawless timing. Small, calculated pulses of energy disrupted the alien ship's propulsion systems temporarily, just enough to break their formation. No ship was destroyed, no life taken. The humans' actions were surgical, strategic, precise, and morally restrained. Across the Empire, the response was immediate. Fleets faltered. Officers shouted orders that could not be executed in time. Panic intensified. Alien media, which usually broadcast messages of triumph and order, now relayed images of their own ships faltering while the human vessel remained calm, almost serene. Varkin growled, slamming his claws on the console. How can they be so controlled? They don't even fight in the way we expect. This is unnatural, Korlak, voice shaking, said. It's not just power, it's intelligence, discipline, morality. They could destroy us all and choose not to. They are teaching us a lesson in restraint. Back on the Resolute, Graves addressed her officers. Prepare to establish a more direct line of communication. They are ready to negotiate, whether they admit it or not. Let's show them that humans do not need threats to assert authority. The communication channel was opened, and a voice resonated across frequencies. This time it was more formal, more controlled, yet still strained. "This is General Korlak," the alien commander said. "We recognize your capabilities, but we demand your explanation. Why do you approach our core with such power? Why do you not attack?" Graves smiled faintly. "Because it is unnecessary. Humans understand power differently. We do not need to destroy to be respected. We observe, we calculate, and we act only when required. Your fleets have demonstrated your fear. That is sufficient understanding for now." The alien voice hesitated. "You speak of understanding, but your methods are incomprehensible. You disrupt our fleets without aggression, and yet we are paralyzed. What kind of species are you?" Graves' tone remained calm. "A species that values life, strategy, and reason. We could conquer, but we do not. We could destroy, but restraint teaches more than aggression ever could. That is human strength." The silence that followed was heavier than any weapon. Across the Empire, commanders and diplomats felt it, a weight of realization. Humans were not just a threat. Humans were different. They did not act like other species. They were unpredictable, morally strong, and intellectually superior in ways the Empire had never encountered. Varkin's claws flexed nervously. "We cannot fight them in the way we always fight. Our strategies are ineffective. Their patience and precision render our entire fleet obsolete." Korlak nodded slowly. "And yet, they do not attack. They do not need to. Our own fear is their advantage." Meanwhile, the outer sectors of the Empire reported more human vessels approaching, scouts and observation ships that maintained the same calm demeanor. Panic spread beyond the council chambers. Colonies and fleet outposts reported hesitation, miscommunication, and fear among their own ranks. One human battleship had shown them the weakness in their rigid systems. Graves watched the monitors, noting the subtle cracks appearing in the Empire's armor. They rely on order and obedience. Once the order is disrupted, they cannot adapt quickly. Humans thrive on flexibility. That is the difference, and they will continue to learn it whether they like it or not. Lieutenant Han shook his head. "Sir, they're sending more ships. They claim they want to negotiate, but it seems desperate. They cannot understand our patience and restraint." Graves nodded. "Exactly. Let them try to control what they cannot. Let them try to impose structure on a species that values innovation and teamwork. It will teach them more than any battle could." Inside the council chamber, alien leaders were at their wits' end. Generals argued, diplomats shouted, and every decision seemed to make things worse. Fear had replaced strategy. Respect had entered the mix, but it was forced, uneasy, and full of tension. The humans had done nothing but exist, and that existence alone had disrupted an empire. Varkin spoke quietly, almost to himself. "They are stronger than us, and yet they do not attack. They teach us without raising a weapon. They are frightening in ways we cannot face." Korlak replied, voice trembling. "Yes, fear without fire, respect without submission. That is human strength." On board the Resolute, Graves addressed her crew. "Observation phase complete. They are panicking, but they are also beginning to understand restraint, strategy, and teamwork. Document everything. Every hesitation, every flaw, every misstep. This knowledge will shape the galaxy's future." Dr. Harper smiled faintly. They will remember this. Even if they try to fight us in the future, they cannot unsee what humans are capable of. Graves nodded. Exactly. One day, every empire will learn. Humans are not to be underestimated, but they will also learn that humans do not need to conquer to be powerful. The USS Resolute held its course, calm, steady, and unyielding. Its presence alone had changed the Empire's perception of strength, power, and morality. And somewhere in the chaos of alien fleets and trembling council chambers, a new respect and a quiet fear was taking root. The humans had not fired a single shot, yet the Empire was in panic. They had demonstrated ingenuity, restraint, and discipline. They had shown the galaxy a new standard of strength, intelligence, adaptability, and moral courage. The first contact had shaken the foundations. The humans were patient, the humans were strong, and the humans were just getting started. The council chambers of the Galactic Empire were tense beyond measure. Every seat was filled with alien leaders, generals, and diplomats, their faces pale with stress and fear. One human battleship, the USS Resolute, had caused this level of chaos, and now the Council would finally confront the humans directly. Admiral Varkin's claws rested heavily on the Council's polished table. "We cannot continue like this," he said. "One human ship paralyses our fleets, our strategy, our pride, all crumbling under their calm presence. We must speak with them, we must understand them." General Korlak nodded slowly. "Agreed, but do not expect obedience. They do not operate by the rules we know. They are unpredictable. They may even mock us if we are not careful." The communication channel was opened. Graves' voice, calm and measured, resonated across alien systems. "This is Captain Alina Graves of the USS Resolute. We have maintained our position outside your core systems. We understand your concern. We are prepared to discuss terms, exchange information, and clarify our intentions." A hush fell over the council chambers. Every alien present understood. Humans had control, humans set the terms, and humans had done it without a single act of aggression. The alien leader's voice was formal, cautious, and strained. "We recognize your strength. Your actions have unsettled the Empire. Speak plainly. Why do you approach our core? Why have you displayed such restraint?" Graves' voice carried authority and serenity. "We approach not to conquer, not to destroy. Our mission is observation, understanding, and diplomacy. Humans value life, strategy, and knowledge. We do not need to use force to command respect. Our restraint is deliberate. It demonstrates control, morality, and intelligence." The council murmured. Some aliens leaned forward, incredulous, while others exchanged worried glances. One diplomat whispered, "They could annihilate us all, and yet they speak of morality." Graves continued, "The Empire relies on hierarchy, obedience, and rigid strategies. Humans rely on adaptability, teamwork, and creative problem-solving. That is why one ship can appear stronger than an entire fleet. Power is not always measured by weapons or numbers. It is measured by intelligence, cooperation, and choice." Varkin's claws flexed. "By the stars, they are right. We cannot fight them in our usual ways." "They are beyond our understanding," Korlak nodded, voice quiet. "And yet they do not attack. That is what terrifies me. They are not cruel, they do not seek conquest. And yet our entire fleet falters at their presence." Graves addressed the council directly. "We offer knowledge, dialogue, and partnership. Humans can teach, share strategies, and even assist your empire in ways you have not considered. We do not demand submission. We do not demand territory. We offer mutual respect and collaboration." The council sat in stunned silence. No alien species had ever approached them in this manner. No species had ever confronted their empire and caused this level of uncertainty without a single threat. Humans were different. Humans did not follow the rules of conquest, aggression, or intimidation. Humans followed logic, morality, and ingenuity. Varkin exhaled slowly. "They are extraordinary. They do not fit our understanding of war, power, or diplomacy. We must accept them. A senior diplomat finally spoke. Captain Graves, if your offer is genuine, we would like a formal exchange of knowledge and discussion of terms. Your restraint has earned you an audience and our respect. Graves nodded. We accept. But know this, humans respect those who act with reason and courage. We do not respond well to deceit, betrayal, or aggression. Cooperation will benefit both our species. Hostility will only bring disaster. Across the empire, ships remained at cautious distances, some observing silently, others moving to allow open communication. Colonies and outposts reported less fear and more curiosity. The humans had taught the empire a lesson. Strength combined with restraint commanded respect more effectively than sheer destruction ever could. On board the Resolute, Graves turned to her crew. Prepare all records of our observations. Every detail of their fleet movements, every hesitation, every flaw. It is all data we will need if future missions require diplomacy, not war. But for now, we have achieved our goal. They respect us. Lieutenant Hand smiled faintly. They fear us, yes, but they respect us even more. Exactly, Graves replied. Fear without respect is unstable. Respect without fear builds long-lasting alliances. That is what we have earned today. Dr. Harper added, Sir, their council members are already discussing reforms. They are rethinking fleet structure, command hierarchies, even cultural policies. They are learning from us without realizing it. Graves nodded thoughtfully. Humans do not conquer by force. Humans lead by example. That is why we are different, and why the galaxy will eventually learn to follow that example. Meanwhile, back in the council chamber, Varkin addressed the other leaders. We underestimated humans for centuries. We thought they were primitive, incapable of reaching our level. One ship proves we were wrong. They are disciplined, intelligent, morally strong, and frighteningly efficient. We must tread carefully and learn from them, not fight them. Korlak added, voice somber, Yes. One human battleship has shown us more than we could learn in centuries of war. They do not need to fire weapons to demonstrate superiority. Their strength lies in their intellect, restraint, and adaptability. Across the galaxy, news of the encounter spread. Alien populations marveled at the human crew. Traders, diplomats, and military officers whispered stories of the USS Resolute, of its calm demeanor, unmatched precision, and moral restraint. Humans were no longer unknown. They were admired, respected, and in some cases feared. The council formally invited Graves and her crew for a ceremonial meeting on neutral space. The humans accepted, and when they arrived, every alien present was struck by their composure. They were confident, polite, and unassuming, yet their very presence conveyed strength that words could not match. Graves addressed the council one final time. We came to observe, not to conquer. We came to understand, not to dominate. Humans are not the strongest by brute force, but by intellect, morality, and cooperation. That is what we bring to the galaxy. A senior diplomat bowed slightly. Your words are noted, Captain Graves, and your actions are remembered. The Empire will honor this moment. Your species has earned our respect, and perhaps a new understanding of what true strength means. The humans returned to their ship, leaving the council chambers with quiet dignity. The Empire had learned a lesson it would not forget. One ship had changed perceptions not by firepower but by calm intelligence, moral restraint, and flawless strategy. Back on the bridge of the Resolute, Graves turned to her crew. We could have destroyed them all, she said softly, but that was never the point. Respect is earned through action, restraint, and intelligence, not fear alone. That is what makes humans different. Lieutenant Hand nodded. And it worked. They respect us, fear us in a good way, and perhaps they will follow our example. Graves smiled. Exactly. Today, we have shown the galaxy that humans are a force not to be underestimated, but also not to be feared without cause. We lead by example, and that is far more powerful than weapons or fleets. The USS Resolute glided away from the Empire's core systems, calm and steady as ever. Across the Empire, fleets returned to their stations, councils reformed their strategies, and alien leaders began quietly respecting the humans. One thing was certain: the galaxy had changed. Humans were no longer unknown. Humans were no longer underestimated. And humans, through restraint, intelligence, and courage, had earned the respect of an entire galactic empire. As the stars stretched past the Resolute's massive hull, Graves looked at the endless void and whispered, "This is only the beginning. Humans have a lot to teach and a lot to show. Let them watch, let them learn, and let them remember what true strength really means." The humans had come in peace. They had faced the might of an empire and left it forever altered. And somewhere across the trembling worlds of the Galactic Empire, one truth became clear. Humans were not just survivors of the galaxy. They were its teachers, its challengers, and perhaps its greatest hope.